Overseas, North Korea. The U.S. unveiling new warplanes in South Korea. Big show of military might, the biggest, baddest planes we got. In response, North Korea calls this a prelude to nuclear war. Here's what National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster said about the North Korea threat. Roll tape.
The president is saying is we all need to take care of it. If necessary, the president and the United States will have to take care of it, because he said he's not going to allow this murderous rogue regime to threaten the United States.
Come on in. Ralph Peters, Fox News strategic analyst.
Stuart.
Sir, at the end of the day, look down the road. We have to make a decision. Are we going to accept a nuclear North Korea, or are we going to do something about it militarily? That is the choice, isn't it?
That is the choice, increasingly so. I mean, we're running out of hope for alternative peaceful solutions. And by the way, Stuart, I think all sane people would agree that a peaceful solution that was a real solution would be preferable. But with the North Korean regime on this relentless path to mating intercontinental ballistic missile technology with nuclear warheads, the danger to American cities, when you look at the explicit, repeated public threats from North Korea, Stuart, that's a chance we can't take. So if it comes down to it, better dead North Koreans than dead Americans.
How will this take place? We start shooting down any and all of their missiles that are launched and destroying the launch pads?
Well, no, it'd be much more complex with that. And that's really the challenge. This is not a question of a few surgical strikes. If we wanted to destroy their capability to build a fleet of ICBMs with mated nuclear warheads, it would require an intensive campaign, primarily, not exclusively from the air, that would run a minimum of several weeks, possibly months. You can't predict these things once you start pulling triggers. And ultimately, the question is the regime in North Korea. Should it survive? So it's not just hitting a couple launchers here and knocking down some missiles. You have to go after deep underground bunkers, research facilities. You have to go after command and control, air defense, intelligence, early warning. And so this is real war. If we had to address the North Korea problem militarily, it's a war.
What would you do, Ralph?
Well, I'd give the Chinese one last shot. But, you know, the Chinese keep promising, and then they do enough to placate us for a month or so. But the Chinese are the only people left who could bring about a peaceful solution if they really came down hard on North Korea. And by the way, it's being complicated by Russian smuggling into North Korea and out. But if the Chinese just won't help us, and they're a bit flummoxed at the moment, they're wary of what's going on. They can't control Kim Jong-un. But if they won't come down hard militarily, Stuart, it's going to end in violence.
And would you give a time frame for this?
Well, you have to be wary, but the South Korean intelligence services believe that the North Koreans will be capable of building a missile, a prototype, that can deliver a nuclear warhead within a year. Now, one missile isn't enough. They need a bunch of missiles. But I'd say the trigger point is when our intelligence community judges that North Korea can build an ICBM and successfully mate a nuclear warhead with it. When we hit that point, that's the time when you got to decide. And the decision, as you put it, I'll just rephrase it a little bit. Is it better to put American cities at risk of nuclear catastrophe, or at least nuclear blackmail, or to act while we can?
Well, what a choice. What a choice.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly, ugly, ugly.
Yeah, there are no good solutions here. None that are out there at all. Ralph, thanks for joining us, sir. Difficult subject. We appreciate you being here. Thank you.